Modern society has become increasingly separated from the cycles of nature. Awareness of the seasons, the phases of the moon, and the most basic sources of life-giving sustenance so generously provided by Mother Earth have faded from our daily lives. Spending time in a garden is one of the best ways to reconnect with nature. Gardening is essentially practical. There's nothing better fitted for the healthful development of children. It affords opportunity for spontaneous activity in the open air and possibilities for acquiring a fund of interesting and related information. It engenders habits of thrift and economy, develops individual responsibility and respect for the rights of others, requires punctuality and constancy of purpose. Louise Klein Miller, 1904. Children's Garden for the School and Home. Throughout the United States, there's a renewed interest in school gardening. The Classroom in Bloom program in North Central Washington State is a shining example of the benefits of connecting children and ecosystems. The Classroom in Bloom garden came into being in 2004 when two Methow Valley farmers and educators, Annika Mines and Lexi Koch, approached the school district with the idea of creating a schoolyard garden. At the time, the grounds were nothing but dry grasses, weeds, and bitterbrush, similar to what's outside the boundaries now. Classroom in Bloom is a nonprofit organization established to enrich education for grades K through 12. Most of its work is with students in the Methow Valley, although its reach is expanding to include all of Okanogan County. Garden staff, parents, and volunteers work closely with the Methow Valley School District. Teachers, principals, kitchen staff, and even the school board are an integral part of the program's success. An important part of the program is the fact that students are exposed to the full year-round cycle of the garden. They learn what a garden entails in each of the seasons. Classroom in Bloom's garden is a living classroom. Here, students observe, investigate, and understand how all parts of nature are connected. Using the school garden as a platform, students are engaged in inquiry-based education, sparking curiosity and wonder through all 5 senses. My garden is my most beautiful masterpiece. Claude Monet. Spring is a busy time in the Classroom in Bloom garden. Students are involved in preparing the soil, planting seeds, composting, and a variety of other projects. After a long winter, it is rewarding to see the children's excitement and exuberance when given the opportunity to spend time in the fresh air and sunshine while engrossed in physical activity. The glory of gardening, hands in the dirt, head in the sun, heart with nature. To nurture a garden is to feed not just the body but the soul. Alfred Austin. As the season progresses, the garden begins to bloom. A myriad of colors, textures, and aromas present themselves to the senses. The child's labor in the garden involves a variety of movements and affords a natural outlet for much of that physical energy that, if left unprovided for, leads to rough play and unruly practices, and later even to hooliganism itself. Louise Latter, 1906. When spring gives way to summer, the students have their final school day of the year. However, the garden does not sit idle in the absence of a regular school schedule. A garden requires patient labor and attention. Plants do not grow to satisfy ambitions or fulfill good intentions. They thrive because someone expended effort on them. Liberty Hyde Bailey. In summer, the garden continues to fulfill its role as a classroom. A series of week-long camps are offered, each with a different focus. Garden art, animals and insects, garden games and mysteries are some of the themes. Several high school students are employed part-time to weed, water, organize, and assist garden staff during the summer break. Volunteers from the community, as well as students, stop by to help tend the garden in summer. Here, participants from Outward Bounds lend a hand. The lesson I have thoroughly learnt and wish to pass on to others is to know the enduring happiness that the love of a garden gives. Gertrude Jekyll. Classroom in Bloom has 4 part-time employees: an executive director, a garden coordinator, an education coordinator, and a high school educator. This staff integrates the current studies of the students. Math, science, art, languages, shop, and culinary classes are all incorporated into the Classroom in Bloom curriculum. For example, some students made compost bins, while others held plant sales and farmers markets. By design, much of the produce grown in the garden is harvested in the fall when the students are back in school after summer vacation. The students harvest and weigh the produce, transport it to the cafeteria kitchens where they work with the staff to organize and store the abundant variety of foods. In 2018, over 3,000 pounds of produce was harvested and became a part of the healthy meals served in the cafeterias. During winter, the garden appears to go to sleep, but on closer observation, much activity is present. Eagles have made their nests in trees close by, providing a good vantage point for hunting rodents. Quail flush out of the crabapple tree. Insects go dormant in bee boxes, and an abundance of tracks in the snow tell the story of nocturnal activity by a variety of species. While the garden appears to be dormant, much of the learning happens indoors. Here, the students make zucchini muffins. The excitement is palpable as they measure and mix the ingredients in anticipation of the warm and delicious treats. Support for the Classroom in Bloom has come from a broad spectrum of the community. The Winthrop Kiwanis Club has provided assistance in many ways, including building the garden shed, installing deer fencing, and most recently by being a major donor in the greenhouse project. Carpenters, excavators, concrete workers, and many, many volunteers, sometimes appearing out of nowhere, pitched in to make the greenhouse a reality. The greenhouse project and concurrent garden expansion has almost doubled the tillable area available for cultivation. The love of gardening is a seed that once sown never dies. Gertrude Jekyll. As the garden continues to grow and increase in fertility, more produce will be transported to the kitchens, more nutritious meals will be prepared from it, and an increasing number of students from all over Okanagan County will benefit from the lessons in bounty the classroom in bloom has to offer. A community has grown around the garden. Farmers, parents, teachers, and supportive community members have all provided much-needed assistance in keeping the garden alive. The community at large has been very generous in terms of financial support. A debt of gratitude is owed to all of these partners in the garden, but most of all, the founders Annika Mines and Lexi Koch deserve recognition for their vision to take a chance and create something truly important and of lasting value in our public schools.